Hi, everybody. It is Monday evening on this ninth day of March as we are tracking showers and storms moving in. If you were watching our early evening newscast, this is the complex of storms we were talking about, and it's starting to move in and starting to impact the counties that we expected that to. And right now, there's a severe thunderstorm warning over Jackson County. The worst part of that storm, not over the county yet, is for areas right around Scottsboro and back to the west. So it's not there yet, but it's getting there. And if you also look at this whole complex, the worst weather is going to be kind of right here into the south. It's kind of moving. There's a little bit of a upper level rotation this way. So it's going to kind of slide that way as far as the worst elements. So I think in the city where there's no watch, you can already see in parts of Franklin County, moving into parts of southern Grundy, there's going to be rain, thunder, lightning kind of loud, but the severe elements are a little bit farther south with this. And so that's what we're going to be tracking over the next little while. I anticipate more activity down in here as far as severe than I do north. So a little noisy for a lot of areas, but the worst severe weather is going to be a little bit more south of the city, though we're going to kind of keep an eye on that. But that's sort of the nutshell what to expect. This is a complex of storms moving in, and it's one that's going to accelerate pretty rapidly. So it's not going to be around all night. I know it's the first question people have is, is this going to be something I have to worry about all night long? And the answer is no. It's primarily just this evening. There may still be some thunder overnight, but not like what you're seeing right there to the south and west of the city. Let me grab a soda here. I've got to do a lot of talking here, so I got to stay hydrated. All right. So right here along 65 south of Huntsville, that's where that one warning is out. Let's kind of zoom in on that one there. The storm itself, just not far from south of Huntsville to about Owens Crossroad, heading to the east. So it's right there. It's with that cell. Let's take a look at that from velocity scan. Some of these have had the capability of producing some strong wind gusts, and you can see, not hard to pick out. It's right there. And watch how it kind of moves on through right in there. So just past 231, Lacey Springs, New Hope area, some very strong gusts with that. So let's just above the surface, about 40, 50 miles an hour. A little bit stronger before, kind of a broad rotation in the storm. Not that uncommon with storms like that, with these complexes rotating through. But we'll keep an eye on that as it moves toward Gurley, towards Scottsboro. And again, the movement of that is pretty rapid off to the east at about 30 miles an hour. So we'll put a quick tracker on that for you. Again, this is for Jackson County, Alabama, not everybody locally. There's the leading edge of that, moving east at 30. It's going to stay in that polygon there. So Scottsboro, more than likely around 6:52 Central Time, 7:52 Eastern. So roughly about an hour from now, but you're probably going to get some rain in advance of that. But the worst elements with the wind are to be approaching you in about an hour. And again, that warning expires at 6:45 Central. So it could probably take that long for that storm to get there into Scottsboro. And zooming out again, you can see, even though there's that severe element there, there's a lot of rain and thunder in advance of it. So in around Scottsboro, it's probably already noisy there. Same thing southern DeKalb on Sand Mountain, in around Fort Payne, some rain and lightning. And same thing into parts of Franklin and Grundy County. These are not severe, but some pretty good lightning strikes just south of Swanee, right along the Franklin and Marion County line right here. So pretty active. As we now approach the later sunset, you can see this darkening of the sky on the western horizon, but a lot of lightning showing up with this. So keep in mind that even though it is going to get pretty noisy from the city and north, the stronger severe elements are a little bit farther south with this. Let me show you the outline of the severe threat. There we go. And again, it's overall a level 1 around the city and north, so up to about Monteagle, to the city, to Cleveland, kind of a level 1 marginal risk, level 2 south of Lafayette. Scottsboro, where there's a warning ongoing. Fort Payne, Rome, Calhoun, Somerville, and south, that level 2 slight risk for severe storms. And basically where there's a watch already kind of lines up. And I want to point this out because, again, even though storms will be occurring north of the state line, there's a lower chance of severe. Still be aware of that, be aware of the lightning risk. But the higher odds are Dade, Walker, Chattooga, Floyd, DeKalb, and Jackson County till 11 o'clock this evening. But although I think by 11 o'clock, all this is pretty much gone, not lasting that long. And there's a look at the radar now. So already some light showers approaching the city. Moderate downpours, southern Grundy, near Mount Eagle to Suwannee. A lot of lightning. Same thing around approaching South Pittsburgh to about the Stevenson area, Bridgeport, and then farther south to Scottsboro, where you're already getting rain, lightning, and that severe storm still west of Jackson County. Everything else to the south, there are some advisories, but they're not all severe. There's some advisories for strong wind gusts. That's what these beige polygons represent. And that higher severe threat is going to be making its way farther south and east as we go through the night. So I would say your higher odds are southern Jackson, DeKalb, Chattooga on into Floyd County for those severe elements rolling by. I'll show you one other screen here. And this is looking at it from when we look at forecasting severe storms, we look at the high-res model that goes out every hour, and we look at where the helicity is strongest with the storms, and helicity track where there's the stronger wind gusts and change of velocity aloft. And you can see this on this screen. I'll show it to you. Share this screen over. And as you can see, where you see the lines changing in color there, south and west of the city, that's the path of the strongest storms. And notice how they kind of just clip DeKalb and Jackson and in around Floyd County. So a lot of that energy is sliding more south and east than it is to the north. So yeah, we'll have thunder and lightning around the city, pretty noisy, but the severe elements are going to follow the path of those tracks there to the south and east. Starting to see trends of that showing up. That's the reason why I've got those lines drawn there. And looking at it from a forecast point of view, why we do see that chance happening. And if you look at the radar loop again, you can start to see, I'll move these lines here. You can start to see a little bit of that turn right in here, and it'll start pushing all of the stronger elements more this general direction, kind of following the pathway of the stronger storms. So again, it's going to be stronger south, not as strong north, but still a risk of rain and lightning and pretty noisy out there. So if you have a ball practice, ball game, these could be impacted, of course, as storms start to move in. But again, the only warning locally at the moment is for this area in Jackson County, which includes Scottsboro. Storm itself is right there. And that is out till 6:45 Central, 7:45 Eastern. And again, you can see a large part of Franklin County covered with some moderate downpours. Nothing severe, but pretty noisy. Loud claps of thunder and bright flashes of lightning. Same thing approaching southern Grundy on into western Marion. Northern parts of Jackson getting quite a bit of lightning there. And a lot of lightning, a cluster of storms here in and around Scottsboro. So it's already noisy there. But the storm you're having in Scottsboro and north is not the one that's being warned upon. That one is just south of the county line, south of 72, just west of Woodville. It's right here, moving east. And around Fort Payne, same thing. On Sand Mountain near Fife. Here up towards Rainsville, you got a lot of lightning, heavy downpours of rain. To Crossville, nothing severe with that. Only one severe cell locally at the moment. And we'll take a look again inside that storm approaching Jackson County. You can see right here is where we're watching, just north of New Hope. Right there. So some bursts of strong wind gusts there. So you got some gusts up around 50 miles an hour. Threshold for severe is 58. So that's just above the surface. So again, some pretty strong gusts with that particular storm, but not with all of them. Many of these have got some wind gusts and rain, but that's the strongest one at the moment. All these others to the south and west of Decatur, Alabama, are advisories, not warnings, which is good. The more they can stay below severe levels, the better. And then back in here toward Red Bay, and these red boxes are not tornado. These are flash flood warnings where heavy rain rolled by Red Bay and then back in the northern parts of Mississippi. So let's go to our high-res model here. So we are approaching 7 o'clock straight up Eastern time. By 8 o'clock, notice again, this is a short-term model. This is not live. This is a high-res model as of 8 o'clock. You'll see by then, rain, heavy downpours could extend north of the city. Strongest, though, still south of the city. And then as we move toward 10 o'clock, notice how quickly this starts moving out. So by 10 Eastern, a lot of this is now shifted south and east, and things are pretty much improving. So really, it's just over the next 2 to 3 hours, things will be most active. And then overnight, not quite as bad. There'll be some storms redeveloping. Again, this is midnight. There'll be some storms redeveloping after midnight, but not severe. A little noisy at times, but not severe overnight. I do anticipate some showers being around first thing in the morning for the morning commute time, but I think the rest of the day tomorrow is good after the morning round of showers. So for election day, some showers around early, but the rest of the day does look drier. And again, these are the only counties under a watch currently, not everybody. It doesn't mean you won't have a storm. It just means the higher odds of severe are going to be in these areas. So, of course, Dade, Walker, Chattooga, Floyd, Jackson, and DeKalb. And again, just some communities involved there. So you have Chickamauga, Trenton, Kensington, Lafayette, Villanelle, all in that watch. Tryon, Somerville, Menlo. Jump over in the Lookout Mountain to Mentone, Fort Payne, Henniker, Rainsville section, Fife, Scottsboro, Stevenson, Bridgeport, all in that watch out until 11 o'clock Eastern time. And there's a current look at the radars of 7 o'clock. You have light showers approaching the city now, heavier downpours and some lightning, southern parts of Grundy. Let's kind of zoom in on these. These are not severe, but they're making some noise. Tracy City to Mont Eagle to Suwanee. South Pittsburgh, you're no doubt hearing the thunder on the other side of the mountain. Same thing along 72 near Stevenson. Really up and down 72, pretty moderate rain. And again, as I mentioned, for you folks in Scottsboro, it's pretty noisy there with this cell. And that already has another advisory with it. So strong there, but this is the one that's prompted the warning there. That's approaching the far western edge of the county, not far from Gurley at the moment. But again, what you have in Scottsboro is not the severe storm, but with enough lightning, stay inside anyway. That's not allowing any outdoor activities to go on. I got to have my caffeine for the evening. All right, let's go to some of your questions here. Dee Dee asking about Chattanooga. Well, Dee Dee, I do believe in Chattanooga we are going to get some rain and some lightning, some wind gusts with that. I think the severest storms will stay just south of the city, but it doesn't mean we won't have lightning and loud claps of thunder. So that'll be approaching right around 8 o'clock in the city. So do expect that. We got Trina watching from Benton. Shannon watching from Harrison. Any tornadic activity after 10 p.m. I think after 10 p.m., a lot of that storm is moving away. The overall tornadic activity is pretty low for Harrison anyway. It's never zero. Anytime you got storms moving by, you got to expect the unexpected. That's just a given. Right now, the chances are low, but after 10 o'clock, it's really low as all the activity has been moving farther away. So after 10 o'clock, I think you're going to be looking much better. Kelly, thanks for watching. Hey, Brenda from Lafayette. Hello, Steve from Harrison. Paul, East Brader primarily is going to have some rain, lightning, thunder, some gust, of course, anytime you have a thunderstorm coming by. We'll keep an eye on that severe threat. But for right now, I think downpours and lightning are the main threats at the moment, but we're tracking that for East Brainerd. Hello, Rhonda watching from Delano, Amy from Ray County. Hey, Cynthia and Dalton, and Linda from Cleveland. Thank you for watching. Yeah, Ashley, we're watching for Rossville also. You're right on the northern fringe of where storm's going to be a little stronger. I think we, at the least in Rossville, heavy downpours of rain, lightning, thunder, some wind gust. I think the severe stuff may stay just south of you, but we are tracking that. But that part of Walker County is under a severe thunderstorm watch till 11 o'clock. Though I think by 11, it's all gone. Okay. Sharon, same thing I just mentioned for Rossville for Chickamauga too. And Angela watching in South Pittsburgh. South Pitt getting some rain and some thunder lightning right now, but pretty much what's approaching is not severe, but stay inside with that lightning risk. Hey, Gerald Jones watching from Bessemer, Alabama. Metro Birmingham there. Thanks for watching. We'll take a look down toward Birmingham. And it's kind of the same thing, although in Birmingham, you got these coming in from the north and west that'll be sliding on through. So while things are a bit more active north of Birmingham now, keep an eye out there for you as the evening goes on. Okay. Here's some good news here. The warning that was in effect for Jackson County has now expired. That's good. It is down to an advisory. So you see it changed to a beige outline there. So basically this means that's a special weather statement. So the risk of strong wind gusts kind of down just a bit. But that's for DeKalb, Jackson County. That's out to 6:45, the same length of time the warning was out. And you got heavy rainfall and wind gusts up to about 50. Is that right? No, excuse me. Wind gusts of 30 miles an hour. I read that wrong. 30 miles an hour and pea-size hail with that. So let's take a look at where that storm was the strongest at the moment. Did a quick velocity scan here. Yeah, you can see that storm, not quite as pronounced. It's still right there east of New Hope, right there. So it's kind of breaking up a bit. But there's still, we see that bright green is where the wind gusts could still be strong there over southern parts of Jackson. So that's the reason why the warning was lifted. But still for Scottsboro, up to about, let's see, is Stevenson in that? No, it's just west of Stevenson, the Skyline, Scottsboro section, all under this advisory till 6:45 with some wind gusts of 30, heavy downpours of rain, lightning, and even some small hail. So again, this is the whole complex that we're watching. It's moving more east and southeast again. Kind of make its way farther off to the east. Again, the higher odds for severe, a little bit farther south. This is where there's more energy. Just had one question from viewer asking, will we be getting the plateau effect with a little diminishing of the storms? This is a little different than when there's a line of storms coming in with the plateau. This is more undercutting south. So it's with a complex of storms, not a line. So there's going to be a little less of that plateau effect there because already the given area for greatest severe threat is south of the city, but also it's going to be the time of night. But with the backside coming in right here, most of this is going to be rotating this way. This is why those higher odds are for those areas from Fort Payne, Rome, and Calhoun. The farther north you go, noisy, the severe threat a little bit lower. So that is a little bit different than the line of storms. We'll probably see the plateau effect Wednesday night with another line of storms coming in. Hopefully, if it's later in the night, it could be diminishing. We'll have to wait and see on that. Still 48 hours away, but that's for Wednesday night coming in. It's a good question you had there. Again, a lot of lightning with that cell just coming into Jackson County. So pretty noisy there until Scottsboro to Princeton over to Huntsville. But again, the rain and lightning moving into the city at the moment, not severe, but still pretty noisy. And not too bad in Lafayette, Somerville, Dalton. Let me go to a future track and just give you an idea from the high-res model that updates every hour. This is just an approximation timeline here. So by 8 o'clock, about a little less than an hour from now. So we'll see more of this covering Jackson, DeKalb, Walker, Chattooga, and still some pretty heavy downpours north of the city. That's around 8 o'clock. But watch how quickly it changes from 8 to 9 o'clock. Now it just starts to weaken more. Then by 10 o'clock, that whole complex is moving away. So by 10 o'clock, I expect major improvements locally, with the exception being Gilmer, potentially Fannin and Cherokee County, but for the most part, not lasting all night long. So primarily the next couple of hours. And there's the extent of the watch. I don't anticipate that watch being expanded. I mean, if it does, they might add Gordon County to that with time. But with a lot of that energy sliding more south and east, it may just stay that general direction. Again, I go back to this particular image, and if you notice, it shows the diagonal track of where the greater energy is going to be throughout the evening hours. And a lot of that staying south of us. And again, it's bad for those areas, Gadsden, Coleman, south of Huntsville, and from Rome south. But for us in general, with the helicity being a little bit stronger with those storms, that's where your greatest path of severe storms is going to be. So that's the reason why a lot of this is south and west of the city. And we hope it stays that way, at least for our sake. So already, again, rain, lightning, thunder approaching parts of Marion, parts of Franklin, southern parts of Grundy County, and on into Jackson County. Again, this is not a warning, just an advisory now for western parts of Jackson, on into DeKalb County. And then farther south, Hartsville, which is south of Huntsville, to Coleman, to the Gadsden, Anniston area. This is where this area right in here is going to start getting a little more active as this activity moves in. Now, again, it may stay below severe levels, which would be great, but it'll just get a little bit more noisier down there. And more widespread in Jackson, DeKalb, eventually for Dade and Walker County as well. All right, folks, we're going to wrap up this live stream for now. This is not the final live stream, but for now, things are just a little bit calmer. We're going to watch this and have more live streams throughout the evening. Should there be any other warnings updated, we, of course, will let you know. But I want to let you know right offhand what we're tracking. That's what we're watching. Again, this is not something that'll last all night long. I really think by 10 and 11, a lot of this is moving away pretty rapidly. All right, so I'm watching this, and I'll keep you updated throughout the evening. More live streams when needed. Thanks so much. Have a great night. Stay safe. Even though it's not severe in many spots, there's a lot of lightning, so be aware of that. When thunder roars, head indoors.